There are so many different bullet journal spreads besides just your year at a glance, month at a glance, and weekly layouts. And I want to share some of those with you. So right here, I've got my previous bullet journals of the past 5 years, and we're going to take a look at some of them together to hopefully give you some ideas and to just get you a little bit inspired with some creativity and productivity in your bullet journal. Lots of bullet journalists loved to create trackers in their bullet journals. So this can be a habit tracker, mood tracker, reading tracker. I want to show you how you can create some of these trackers. So first up, you could create a tracker that is a yearly tracker. And so one year I had a goal to walk every day, and I created a yearly tracker in my bullet journal. Let me show you what that looks like. Here was my yearly tracker where I tracked if I went on a walk each day and how many miles it was. I didn't finish it that year, but it was really fun to track this habit that I knew I wanted to do every year. Another common yearly tracker is a period tracker for all my ladies that are into bullet journaling. This period tracker is similar to a yearly tracker where I just set up a year and I put little dots, however you want to notate it, of when I had my period. I was actually pregnant this year, so it's not super filled in, but this is a vertical yearly tracker that I did for the year. This was 2022. A lot of people love to use bullet journals for habit trackers, and a common way to track habits is monthly. So let me show you a few monthly trackers that I created. This was my bullet journal from 2020. Here is a couple of my habits that I was doing for the month of October. So that's one example of a monthly tracker. You could also do a monthly tracker horizontally, like so. This was technically a cleaning habit tracker where I made a daily habit tracker for that month and also a weekly, things I wanted to do weekly to clean my house. So lots of different monthly habit trackers. One of my favorite ways to track habits currently is actually weekly. And so in my bullet journal right now, I like to put the habit that I'd like to track for the week, reading and walking, and I color code it. This one was blue, this one was green, and I just put 2 little circles, blue, green, blue, green, blue, green. And as I do those habits, I just check them off throughout the week. Another common tracker is a mood tracker. I personally have used this not very frequently at all in my bullet journal experience, but I do have an example from when I was postpartum and had some crazy moods where I just labeled each balloon as a month or a day in the month, and I just colored in my mood. And another tracker that I use in all, it's not really a tracker, it was just a spread I like to have in all my bullet journals. It's just kind of like goals for the year. One of my ultimate favorite trackers that I've had in almost every bullet journal that I've ever done is a reading tracker. So this is from the first bullet journal that I did, and it was just a way to track all the books that I read that year. Actually, that wasn't even all the books I read that year. This year I did 2 bullet journals, and my reading log was in 2 different bullet journals for the year 2020. I love tracking what I read so much that I actually created my own separate reading journal for the year 2024. So this is the year that I don't have a spread that tracks my reading because I have a whole separate journal for that. One of my personal favorite ways to use my bullet journal is as a journal. So what I like to do to journal is I will take some space at the bottom of each weekly layout, and I actually journal about my kids. I said I was a mom of 2. They grow so fast, do so much each week, so I like to journal about them weekly. Let me give you an example. So typically each of my weekly spreads will have a spot for each day, and then I'll leave some room to journal about my children. This was when I only had my daughter, so I was just journaling about her. And another thing I love to do in my bullet journals is I like to have a end of month reflection. So I will just finish all the weekly spreads for the month and have a reflection page at the end of each month. Typically, any of these sort of extra spreads that aren't a part of your basic layout, I like to put them either at the beginning of my bullet journal so that I know where they are, or at the beginning of my month. So think of each month like a chapter in your bullet journal. If you have a specific tracker you'd like to do, or a different type of spread other than a weekly spread, then I would try and put that at the beginning of your month and keep all your weekly spreads together. So let me flip through a typical month of bullet journaling for me. So this is March. I have my overview monthly log right here. I added a couple projects that I was working on, some habit trackers, a mood tracker at the beginning of the month, right after my monthly log. And then you just see I do all my weekly layouts after the monthly log. So this is like a chapter in my bullet journal. And then once it's done, I start my next month. And it kind of repeats. If I have any extra spreads, I'll put them right here, and then I'll just, so these are a couple extra spreads. Another mood tracker before we moved out, we were moving. And then here's my weekly layouts for April that I continued on until I was done. And then your bullet journal just continues like that. Here's May and my weekly layouts and so on. I think bullet journaling is a beautiful way to record your life. You are putting down your best intentions as you plan for your year, your month, your week. And then at the end of your week, month, year, you're also reflecting on what you did and hopefully recording some of those fun moments. Along with journaling, I will sometimes print pictures and put them in my bullet journal. So my bullet journal is a planner, it is a journal, and it is almost like a scrapbook for me, all of my favorite things. I'm excited for you to make this bullet journal what you want it to be. This is my experience with bullet journaling. I have loved it. I plan on continuing doing it as a way to plan my life, but also record and look back on my life. What a fun way to look back on your life. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more bullet journal inspiration, follow me on Instagram. I'm at Created by Krista Kirky. I share lots of videos from my bullet journals, and I also have a YouTube channel where I share more about bullet journaling as well. Any of the pre-made bullet journals you've seen in this video you can purchase on my website, and please feel free to reach out to me if you want to throw a bullet journal party in the future as well. Thank you so much for watching, and happy journaling. Bye bye.